Today on ONN, we will be showing you soccer overviews, service trips, vicious rivalries,
the Lovett tennis team, how Lovett has changed its features, and milestones that will not be forgotten.
All of this and much more on the OnLion News Network. Hello and welcome to ONN. I'm Jack Schaefer.
And I'm Sam Ehlers. Today on ONN, we will cover topics that are all over Lovett. Coach Busick has recently hit a huge milestone in his career. JP Mackin reporting on Coach Busick.
This year, Coach Busick got his 200th win as a varsity Lovett lacrosse coach. Some of the seniors have had him since they were freshmen. He has used different techniques and strategies to win each game. Coaches and players expressed to us on how he felt to get his 200th win.
I honestly didn't know when I got the email from the people. If you'd have told me it was 500 or 100, I would have said, okay.
Coach Busick is a pretty humble guy, also pretty quiet. To tell you the truth, I don't even know if he knew when he got it, but obviously the program he runs, he probably wouldn't even be surprised.
He was pretty excited. I don't think a lot of people knew that it was going to be his 200th win on the game that it was the 200th win, and he told some of us right afterwards, and everybody was very excited about kind of a milestone type win.
Coach Busick went to the University of North Carolina, and he coached at Princeton and North Carolina. Coach Busick has been coaching varsity lacrosse at Lovett for 13 years. He has new expectations for this year.
From the University of North Carolina in 1992, and I taught and coached at Princeton University for 2 years, and then I coached back at North Carolina for about 8 years, and I've been at Lovett ever since for the last 13 years.
Players and coaches have been doing well, and the coaches have designed new plans and keys to success for this year. Some of the players have been doing great, and we were given a few names. They all have rituals before the game, from taping their sticks to wearing necklaces.
I listen to some music on my headphones. We all bought, when we went to Florida for our spring break trip, we all bought silver or gold chains at a little boutique in the Gainesville Mall, and that's kind of like a team thing, so we all kind of wear them.
Got a couple going, two seniors this year, Peyton Bogard and Bailey Taylor going to play. Peyton's going to Maryland, and Bailey's going to Furman. Then we got some other younger guys with Quinn Busick, who's going to go to Utah.
I think growing close as a unit and as a team, we've become a lot closer than the teams in the past have. And I think that's really helped us work harder in practice and just play better in games.
JP Mackin reporting from the Lovett School, ONN.
Thanks for that, JP. Well, the linebackers were helping Coach Busick along the way, and he couldn't do it without his team of players or volunteers. The linebackers show support to all 23 varsity teams by fundraising through memberships, concessions, or the annual golf and tennis tournaments. During the year, the linebackers also host other events that will promote attendance for these 23 varsity teams, like lacrosse, track and field, and football. They also send out a weekly newsletter showing the week's events so you don't miss out on anything. If you would like to see what's going on, check out the Lovett website.
Well, Jack, one of those varsity teams you mentioned was track and field, and Christopher Fielden reports.
Did you know that the Lovett varsity track team set 3 state records this year and sent a number of people to compete in state? If you haven't seen one of their meets or practices, you're really missing out. The Lovett varsity track team had 2 key losses the year before, but yet still managed to compete well and send more people to the state meet than they have in a few years.
The face of the team isn't drastically different. We did graduate a couple of really key people in Nicole Teague and Victoria Powell on the girls' side. Multiple events, and they scored at state almost every single year they were here. I wanted everybody to be there every day. I wanted everybody to pour in work. I didn't just need those people who were going to score at state necessarily. I was really looking to start pouring into some of the younger kids, start pouring into the next generation.
Coach Mayer's approach to making Lovett athletes the fastest they can possibly be has two components. He wants us to be as strong as we possibly can in the legs, so even though our race is only 1 mile long, he'll have us go on 13-mile long runs, just so that 1 mile that we're actually racing feels a lot shorter.
They had many ups and downs during their season. One of their ups is when Serena Tripodi set the 2A record for the 2-mile run. She also set the state meet record for all classifications in the fall.
I broke the state record. That was really cool, and definitely showed that hard work pays off after 4 years.
The MAC and the new training facility has really helped Lovett athletes improve their strength and fitness. It has also allowed them to get in the gym 7 days a week.
Put in a really hard work ethic in order to be successful, and so I probably train 6 out of 7 days a week.
Well, I hate to say it, but just like everything else, Westminster is pretty tough. But with track, it's a whole new world once you get out of this area.
Christopher Fielden reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News Network.
Now, there have been a lot of stories about the various soccer teams, but the one we're focusing on in this story is the boys' varsity soccer team. To Alex Hyman with the story.
This season, the Lovett varsity boys soccer team ended with a 4-14 record. This was not the season any of the players or coaches had hoped for, but they did not know each other well and had not played together.
The expectations were it was a building year. We were able to come together more and build better relationships, which definitely improved our play because last 2 weeks of our season, we played outstanding. We played better than we've ever played.
And even though their season wasn't going as planned, they never stopped working hard and never stopped trying.
They persevered because, again, they didn't have the most successful season, but it never made them give up. They continued working through everything, and it really showed some of their qualities and characteristics as athletes come out during that time.
This varsity soccer team has not had the season they expected. But it was mainly a season to grow according to coaches and players, and they started to pull it together near the end of the season and played like a team. The Lovett varsity soccer team ended with not the best record. They lost to Greater Atlanta Christian School in the first round of the playoffs. The Lovett soccer team was led by head coach Peter Botter with the assistant coach Shane Mullen, Eric Limbick, and Robert Golden. The soccer team has faced some hard opponents and some easy opponents. According to Coach Botter, some of the hardest opponents were Scott Snyder, Westminster, GAC, St. Pius, and Woodward.
Hardest opponents, definitely, it's almost, you can expect it every year. Scott Snyder's Westminster team is always very good. Tom Jackett's team over at GAC is always good. St. Pius, I always think, is one of the best soccer programs in all of Atlanta. Woodward as well.
Some of the easier opponents were Cedar Grove, McNair, and Woodland. Despite the losses, the players said they wish to play next year and they believe that they can do better.
Easiest opponents would sometimes be some of our region opponents, public schools maybe without an established soccer program. So someone like McNair, Redan, Towers, Cedar Grove, some of those teams are usually on the easier side.
The Lovett boys varsity soccer team didn't have the most successful season, but they started to learn how to play as a team nearing the end of the season. They only beat 4 teams: Redan, McNair, Cedar Grove, and Woodland.
GAC they ended up being number 3 in the state, and at the end of the season we lost in our playoff game against them. We barely lost off the goal. And then Westminster made all these teams. Westminster's very good.
Where there's wins, there's always losses. They lost to Greater Atlanta Christian School 6-0, and they also lost to our rival Westminster 6-0. The team had 8 freshmen, 5 sophomores, 9 juniors, and only 5 seniors. They had 27 players in total. The team's goalkeeper was Patrick Woodward, and the coaches said he was a key player to the team.
The first time we played them, we lost 6-0, and everybody thought it was going to be a blowout, but we were able to come together as a team and practice hard and put together a good side.
The players and coaches said this was one of their best games yet, and they were very proud with their players. They did not have the most successful season, but all the players were proud how they ended it. Alex Hyman, reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News.
Another big story we have seen is the girls and boys middle school soccer differences.
Today, the middle school is taking to the Rayleigh Field to play a game called soccer. In the middle school, girls are beating the boys with a 7-4 record. With only a 5-6 record, the boys have lost the competition. Back to you, Jack.
Well, Sam, we both know that those soccer players have a new place to train. That place is called the MAC, and it's a new addition to the Lovett's campus. Ollie Lascala, reporting from the Lovett School.
The MAC, which stands for the Murray Athletic Center, is a multi-purpose building for the Lovett School. This building helps with athletics greatly. It serves many purposes at the school and is one of the main new buildings at the school to help kids become better athletes.
Building the MAC was a huge step forward as far as our athletic programs are concerned, and it benefits all of our students here, for our 9th grade PE classes, for our middle school PE classes, as well as all for JV and varsity athletics. The building in itself is more about preparation and getting ready to go and play and compete, and giving your body a chance to do what you're going to ask it to do when you're playing. It has to be strong and hopefully injury-free.
MAC was built, one, because we were way behind other high schools in the state as far as capacity for a weight room. The old weight room was what the new training room is now, and this is about 8 times bigger, so it's a lot easier to get more than one sport in there to train, and we've got a lot more people in there throughout the day. It's just for safety, liability, and it's a lot easier to watch kids, coaching-wise too, so it's a huge benefit.
Enjoy the most about the MAC?
I enjoy the wrestling room the most because now we have our own facility and we don't have to share the room with basketball.
What's about the MAC?
I enjoy the workouts after school that I can go and participate in.
Most about the MAC?
I enjoy the workout program and how I get to exercise at the MAC.
The MAC construction was finished in fall of 2015. It has helped with many different types of athletics. It has brought more girls to try more and more sports that has inspired many kids that wouldn't regularly try it. The Murray Athletic Center also contains of many different rooms, such as the weight room, the new wrestling room, the conference room, the locker room, and the plaza that it holds.
I like the leg curls because I guess they help me run faster and be more quick on my feet.
Enjoy at the MAC?
I really like the treadmills because it helps with my cardio and helps me get faster.
MAC?
I like all the things it offers, the weight room, all the locker rooms, and the wrestling room upstairs.
Well, the weight room's big for rehabilitation as well as actually working out. It helps our kids who have been injured because some of the machines that we have in there, our athletic trainers can bring those kids over and they can get a good workout in, working on the injured area of their body. We've got a lot better locker rooms than we had before, a lot more space in there, so less chance of any kind of spreading of any kind of bugs that might be around. And then we have 2 classrooms up on the 3rd floor as well as a wrestling room up on the 3rd floor. So it's been a big boon for all of our athletic programs.
MAC has helped kids that don't usually work out. It has been changed to one of the worst to one of the best workout places at the school.
Because of the MAC, it's just that this gives us an advantage to hopefully improve our overall athletic performance. We have a chance to have more workouts in season. Out of season, we can get cheerleaders in here now, a lot more girl participation because of the MAC, so they have more time to come in, they feel more welcome and open to the place, and they have more room to be, not crowd on top of guys, and sometimes they get intimidated with that. So it's just been a big benefit overall.
It's helped me because now I have something to do after school and I can work out and get my exercise. All I could do is run on the track or do something like that, and that would only be cardio workout. But now when you go in the MAC, you can get all sorts of workouts like arm, muscles, abs, and because of all the machinery.
Working with Coach Stuckey in Bofield and Coach Muschamp in the weight room has really done that for me.
The wrestling room has many other uses for it, such as the wrestling mats and a built-in volleyball court. The upstairs rooms also include the many conference rooms and the middle school health during the year.
Yeah, that's a good question. We've had. There's actually a few kids and more since this has been built that just don't play sport that come in here and work out just to work out, and I'll run them a program wherever they want and they can do it, or sometimes they just come and do cardio on their own. So yeah, I'd say it's jumped up at least to 30-40% from the old facility.
Well, it has made me a stronger athlete, but I can continue doing the MAC workout and get stronger and just help me overall with my athletics.
The weight room, which has a variety of weights anywhere from the bench press to the curl-up zone and the sprint zone anywhere to the treadmill. The weight room also consists of different levels that kids can try out. This helps the kids to keep coming back to finish their goals of the mat. Each level has a different workout, so you have to complete that workout several times to go to the next level.
It helps me the most by just helping me become a better athlete, helping me achieve what I do best.
The bottom zone of the mat includes the plaza where kids can hang out and chat while waiting or socializing, the locker rooms, and the bathroom. Ollie Escala, reporting from Lovett School, OnLion News Network.
Well, the way the MAC was funded was by events like Run and Lovett that was held recently.
The Run and Lovett is an amazing event. You can walk around the Kilpatrick Fields track and see all of the things that are dedicated to the people that have died or had cancer. You can also get a free t-shirt and refreshments.
Thanks, Fielder. Now we head to lacrosse. Have you ever wondered about how different boys and girls lacrosse is? Well, then this story is for you. Mac Lovin reports from the lacrosse field.
Lacrosse hasn't been very known until recently. Now several kids are putting down their baseball bats and soccer cleats for a lacrosse stick. But girls and boys lacrosse seems like a completely different sport when looked at side by side.
The girls have been wearing more pads consistently for the past several years. It's been, first it was goggles, then it was gloves and goggles, and now there's a glove helmet combo.
The boys have a lot more gear. They have a helmet, they have shoulder pads, they have arm pads, they have gloves. And girls have a stick and maybe some gloves and helmets. So a modified helmet is kind of coming into girls this year.
I don't think girls should have more gear because once we get more gear, we'll have to have more rules and regulations, and then it'll completely change the sport.
If they want the sport to be more physical, then I think they need to change some of the rules of girls lacrosse.
There are many differences in between girls and boys lacrosse, but most think that the biggest difference is the amount of gear that each gender wears. The boys have to wear helmet, mouth guard, chest pads, elbow pads, and gloves, while the girls are only required to wear eye goggles and a mouth guard, although many girls are starting to wear helmets and gloves.
The boys and girls face-off are very different from each other. While the boys kneel down and aren't allowed to touch the ball until the whistle is blown. The girls stand up and start with the ball in between their sticks and are standing up. One similarity is the goalies, with the same large stick and additional gear, like a neck strap and shin pads. Another big difference is the sticks. The boys have deep pockets while the girls barely have pockets at all. Also, the boys have long sticks as tall as them if they play defense, while the girls will always have traditional sticks that go up to the player's waist.
I think the different length of the lacrosse stick, like how the boys lacrosse has long defensive sticks, makes a difference, and I think that would be really interesting to see how that would transfer into girls lacrosse, so I think that would be one quality.
Mac Lovin, reporting from the Lovett School OnLion News Network.
Thanks for that, Mac. Like Fielder said, there are ways to help Lovett that would be appreciated. One of these is to go on a service trip once or twice. Davis Hayden reports.
The Lovett School has a broad list of things to do, but one activity stands out the most. Service trips are ways students can help out in the community. Service trips offer opportunities where students can leave after school and spend about an hour helping kids at Agape, people at Campbellstone, and at the food bank.
Campbellstone, and that's a retirement center for people 62 years or older.
When students are at Campbellstone, they will either play bingo or color with the residents. The residents enjoy being involved with students and playing games.
But service can take different forms. It doesn't have to be like with shovels and pickaxes and buckets of rocks or pouring concrete. It can also be just engaging with people in a community.
The Lovett School doesn't always start a new service trip every year, but next year they'll allow the 6th grade and above to participate in Fur Kids. A majority of students would like to participate in Fur Kids and continue the service trips that they are going on.
So the Fur Kids is a new service initiative specifically in the middle school that Miss L has started up for us. A few years ago, some of our students were able to participate in it
previously. But we used to have a club that was dedicated to students interested in animals and animal rescue. And so that's where it comes from. Miss L has more information about it, but to my knowledge, we visit a particular Fur Kids shelter where our students who attend are able to play with pets and clean cages and take dogs on walks.
Teachers encourage kids that go on service trips to try other ones too, so they can be introduced to a new kind of service trip to broaden their horizon.
I think one of the things we try to foster on our service trip is sort of, especially if it's an international trip, is more just like understanding the culture and then interacting with people in that country to learn more about it.
Teachers that administer the service trips always ask kids to try at least one of the service trips if they hadn't already.
Agape, which is an after-school program for kids who go to E-River School.
I have been on a lot of different service trips. I've been to Peru, Ecuador, Guatemala, Honduras, almost every country in Central America and most countries in South America. Also went to Romania on a service trip one time where we built a habitat.
Service trips are really exciting and have lots of things to do. The Lovett School strongly encourages kids to join in on service trips. They also think that when you do service trips, you have more empathy for people that might not be as fortunate as yourself. This is Davis Hayden reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News.
Thanks, Davis. Now, if you played band this year, you already knew this, but for those of you who don't, we recently had a band concert. The Lovett School had a band concert on Saturday, May 6th, and it was quite the concert. They played so much theme music, I can't remember it all. But many thought of it to be very nerve-wracking, such as Miss King, the Lovett School band teacher.
I'm always nervous going into a band concert. You have a great bunch of kids, and you don't know, is somebody just going to have their brain's just going to shut off that day and play a wrong note or come in at the wrong time. Until everything gets going and you establish that flow, that's when I can finally breathe.
Coming up next on the OnLion News Network, there will be events such as varsity baseball, trips that Lovett offer, and the golf season overview, and much more. Be sure to stay tuned on this episode of the OnLion News.
We're back and ready to hit some home runs. Hamilton Stewart with the story.
Last season, the Lovett boys varsity baseball team won the Georgia State Championship against Westland. Now the team is hungry for another ring this season. The team lost 5 senior players like Aaron Shunk, who plays baseball at the University of Georgia. The expectations are higher now, and the team has new leaders in the run for a state championship.
Well, coming off of a state championship last year and graduating 5 seniors, I'm hopeful that this group, this new group, will come together as a team. I know we returned quite a few guys that got a bunch of playing experience last year, so I'm hopeful that with the pitching that we'll have this year, that we'll be able to play good defense and score enough runs that we can compete for a region championship and hopefully for another state championship.
This baseball season, of course, going off last season, we won a state championship, so getting back towards the state championship is something that is one of our big goals, so it's something that we're trying to do.
My expectations every season are for us to compete for a state championship. I think it affected the team a good bit. We had a good group of seniors last year, and anytime you lose seniors at all, you kind of have to start over from a leadership standpoint, and somehow, you know, your juniors become seniors and they have to figure out how to be leaders. And not all leaders are the same. They have to figure out their way and their niche to try and figure it out.
The Lovett seniors play every game like it is their last game at Lovett. But when the last game at Lovett comes, they play like it is the 7th game of the World Series.
I mean, it was really cool. Just the fact that that's the last time I'll ever be on the Lovett mound. And that's the memory I'll have. And it was awesome. I mean, our defense made a lot of really good plays that helped me keep my perfect game. But I don't know. I mean, Towers wasn't the greatest team, but it was still really cool regardless.
The baseball team has a very tough region to play, but the team can always manage to go to the playoffs. Baseball players work out at least 2 times a week and get better every game they play. Every position needs to step up for the playoffs, and their opponents better be ready for the Lovett baseball team to wipe out the competition.
We work out, at least for baseball, twice a week is our mandatory. So we do a lot of band lifts. We do a lot of forearm lifts, just stuff to strengthen like key muscles for baseball.
As a whole, our defense has been a little suspect most of the year, so I wouldn't say there's one position. We just, as a team, have to get better defensively. Well, I coach the outfielders, so we do different drills, footwork drills, getting our hands together, coming through the ball, infielding wise. They do all kinds of drills as well, and there's a bunch of hitting drills as well.
It's always hard. It was hard last year. It's going to be hard this year to do it, but I mean, I think we're playing well right now, and we're starting to hit our stride. So hopefully we can go back to back.
Yeah, so our region has 8 total teams, including us. I would expect the top teams to be Westminster, Pace, and Redan. So we'll be battling out with those guys, hopefully for a playoff spot. And then there's also Cedar Grove, Towers, McNair, and Stone Mountain. But I think those teams are kind of towards the bottom of the list.
Hamilton Stewart reporting from Lovett School, OnLion News Network.
So we have talked about service trips, but what about a different type of trip?
Have you ever wondered what else is out in the world besides the skyscrapers of Atlanta and the highways of the country? Well, if you have, you can find out what else there is in the world on a Siempre Verde trip. You live in Ecuador for 1 to 2 weeks, and you eat local meals, learn about wildlife, and help school children learn. Go visit their site today at www.siempreverde.org.
Thanks, Sam. Well, I know this story will fly the green, but if not, it will be shamed. Now to Cooper with the golf.
The boys' varsity golf team has had a good season so far, but their main goal for this season is to make it to the state tournament, which they came very close to last season. They aren't the level that they were last season, but they are currently working to get back up to that level. They've had a good season so far, but the season isn't over quite yet.
So not quite where we were last year, but you know, we're getting better as we go on.
Okay, so well, this season we would definitely like to win our region. and region play starts next week. And we're in a very competitive region, but this year we really want to win region and then head into the state playoffs with that win underneath our belt, because we feel like that would really propel us and set us up well to do well at the state tournament.
We've placed pretty high in tournaments. The varsity has, and our JV we won most of our matches. JV season's over, but varsity we have region coming up and then state hopefully. So hopefully we can do well in that, because that's the most important part of the season, obviously.
We're probably doing all right. I'm not gonna lie. Our teammates, my high school teammates, they're really great, and they're just awesome to bond with, and they're great players too. So I think we're doing all right.
Of the things the team needs to improve on, their short game, like putting, is their biggest problem currently. Other than that, they sometimes need more consistency in their play. According to the coaches, they are improving each week, and they haven't reached the peak of their skill quite yet.
I watched a guy, we played in a tournament at the Chattahoochee Golf Club a couple Mondays ago, and I saw a guy miss our number one player miss a 1-foot putt. We can't do that. So we need to get better at putting, and I think if we get better at putting, because they're hitting the ball pretty well, then their scores will start coming down. In practice yesterday, though, we had 2 guys under par at practice. One guy was 2 under par, one guy was 1 under par. Then we had another guy 1 over par, and 2 or 3 guys just 2 or 3 shots over par. And that's practice, it's not competition, so it's not quite the same thing. But those are the best scores we've shot in practice so far this year. So that's an indication that their games are kind of coming around a little bit, I think.
The biggest challenge is sometimes everyone plays really well, and we do really well, but sometimes no one really has the best round of their life. And so I guess just splitting up and finding the right people to shoot their best rounds would be kind of nice.
You know, it's tough to say, because golf, people can be up and down a lot, but golf is all about being consistent, and right now we're not playing very consistent.
The boys varsity golf team needs to work hard to make it up to where they were last season, but they're shaping up to make it to regionals. The season has been a little shaky so far, but it is smoothing out towards the last few weeks.
Yeah, again, we won a state championship 2 years ago and nearly won last year, and so I think it's expected that we'll really do well. And sometimes we have pretty lofty expectations that puts pressure on you, and can these guys sort of handle the pressure to meet those expectations?
Cooper McCabe, reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News Network.
Well, Sam, have you ever seen the campus store? Because it looks great now. The campus store has made an incredible improvement in the last while, and has helped the students by putting the newest in their store. There are a bunch of great people who work for the campus store, and if you have any questions while you're in there, they will always be able to help you. From school supplies like books or calculators to other items like t-shirts or earbuds, they have it all. All in all, I would say that the campus store has really been successful in the last while.
Wow, I didn't know that. Coming up next after the break, we'll take a look at the pressure on the boys tennis team and the upper school trip to Ossabaw Island when we come back. Since the boys varsity tennis team won the championship, last year. Can they do it again? Ethan Bass has the story.
Last year, the Lovett varsity boys tennis team won the Region 5 state title. This year, they will try to defend their title as state champs. How much pressure is on the team to win?
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on the team to perform as well as we did last year, but I think that we can definitely repeat our success.
The Lovett varsity boys tennis team won the state title last year. The team has trained very hard for this season. The tennis team trains in the off-season by playing tournaments and working out in the weight room. This year, the Lovett boys varsity tennis team finished 3rd place in regionals. The team will have to work very hard to win the state title this year because the seniors left last year to go to college. The Lovett tennis team has a lot of pressure on them to win this year. Preparing before each tennis match has helped the team succeed this year. This season, the team has performed very well in matches and in training.
Most of the success of the season is in the off-season. It's how much training they have done in the off-season when it comes to tennis, whether it's weight room, whether it's training for their drills, their academy, etc. So, majority of it is in the off-season.
Let's see. Well, we always graduate a good senior. You know, we got a small team. We're only 10 people. So, anytime you're losing 1 or 2 guys, if they're your top guys, which our seniors usually are, then we are losing a significant portion of our team. But thankfully, most years, the younger guys step up. The guys you actually often they don't see themselves being able to take that spot, and then they do. So, good stuff usually happens.
Just loosening up stretches, listening to music is pretty fun.
The Lovett tennis team has set some very high expectations for this year. The team wants to go to the finals for 2 years in a row and maybe win for 2 years in a row.
Great. I think we performed about as we expected. Now the question is who will see it through the end. So hopefully we see it all the way through.
We're trying to make as far of a run through state as we can. Hopefully we can get to the finals for the 2nd time in a row. That'd be nice.
This is Ethan Bass, reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News Network.
Great! But while the tennis players went to the championship, the upper school photography team went to Ossabaw Island in Georgia.
While the tennis sports team was celebrating and going to the championships, the photography team was traveling to Ossabaw Island. You need a permit to go there, and it is uninhabited by humankind. Carrie Walter took some pictures there, and also shared some memories.
Well, Ossabaw Island, to me, the best part of it is the wildlife.
Now that the trip is over, we will move on to the sports topics such as football and basketball. Here's Grant Ewing.
The Lovett football team coached by Mike Muschamp going 8-4, and the Lovett basketball team coached by Ryan Cudelli finishing 20-11 had a terrific run during each of their postseason playoffs. Both teams played Crisp County, which the football team lost to in the 2nd round of the AAA state playoffs, where they scored 29-30, and the basketball won against what they scored 72-69. The basketball team went on to play Morgan County in the Elite 8, but lost what they scored 49-70.
For the first half of the game, where we didn't play like we were capable of playing, I thought the second half we played really good football. We didn't execute the way we needed to.
It was also exciting to know that we'd made it that far, for a team that I don't think a lot of people thought would get that far.
Yeah, we're really mad about it in this situation, but I mean, we kind of knew, like next year, that just proves that we need to work even harder so we can get further in the playoffs.
It's been good to see the program kind of change around, going from not very good the past years to now being a team that can definitely do some damage going into the playoffs.
Even though the basketball and football team didn't make it all the way to their ultimate goal of the state championship, they are very proud of their hard work and effort.
So for us to be where we were was really a great tribute to our kids and their effort.
I was pleased with our performance, knowing that we didn't get a home playoff game. We had to go on the road 3 times.
During the offseason, both teams will work hard in order to make it further to winning that ring next year. Both teams' goal next season in the playoffs will be to make it to the state championship.
Well, I play baseball and football as well, so I wasn't able to do much. I did some summer workouts with Coach K here.
Obviously, you have to work out in the weight room and stuff like that, so like doing things like that will help. And then also working out outside, like working out with our trainers and things like that.
we just didn't make shots. And if you don't make shots, then that makes it really tough to win.
Again, both the Dawson County game and the Crisp County game, we started out slow, and that's something we've talked about in our all season.
Grant Ewan reporting from Kilpatrick Stadium, OnLion News Network.
Wow, Grant. Now Theodore Odegaard will share some info with us about the LIA Book Fair.
On April 26th and 27th, LIA hosted the 11th Annual International Book Fair. This was a school-wide event that helped introduce our community to all types of voices all over the world. The book fair was held in the lobby of the middle school and the lobby of the lower school. It had an array of bestsellers, classics, and award-winning books. The teachers also shared what their favorite book was, and those were also available to buy. They also had books that teachers suggested that the kids would want to read.
Let's move on to a sport that you usually don't hear about at Lovett, gymnastics. Jake Bryant reporting from the gym.
The varsity girls gymnastics team is a team that always tries hard and is learning new skills each day. They try to perform tricky and difficult stunts, but even without tricks, they still have a tight bond and work well with each other as a team. They always have each other's backs during difficult times. Their team works towards their goals, which are having amazing performances, routines, and practices, getting better throughout the years. The best thing is that their coach also has their backs and ensures that they get better and are ready to advance to the next level, as they have since they started.
Each year these girls get better and better, while some get amazingly better. You would think they would want to do gymnastics in the next level, but they mostly don't.
Let's see, I guess 12 years, and I've been doing gymnastics at Lovett since 7th grade, so 4 years at Lovett. I don't think I want to do it in college. I'm having fun. I like it at Lovett. We have a good time.
I've been doing it since middle school, but I don't think I want to go pro. I've been doing gymnastics since 7th grade through Lovett, and I don't plan on doing it outside of school.
With hard work and time, they will achieve their goals, as they will try to work even better as a team, as they all expect something out of each other, while they try to fill their teammates' expectations of them. While the coach will get the girls to go at full speed all the time with her expectations.
They expect us to show up and try our hardest and give it our all so that the team can be the best we can be and that we all have fun and are supportive of each other. I hope that my teammates will be dedicated, coming to practice, and just that my coaches will have fun, not be too hard on us.
My coach, she's always there for us. It's Coach Jill Melito. She's amazing. Give us great criticism for our teammates, just that we're all really there for each other, super supportive.
Our expectation is to come to practice every day and work hard and to push themselves to get some new tricks. This year, every meet, we increased our score, which is really good. So I want to start at that base score next year and just get higher and higher.
Working together and helping each other out can be the win or the loss. But these girls have great teamwork and will strive to face and beat all of their biggest rivalries.
Well, all the other schools are really good, but this year we were just like 2 points away from beating Pace, so it would be good to try and beat them next year.
I think Pace and Westminster are the most fun to play because they're our closest competition, and the rivalry is so strong, so that'll be fun next year.
This is Jake Bryant reporting from the Lovett School OnLion News Network.
All of those people put in so much effort. We put in effort too, but hey, Jack?
Yeah?
When's the end of school? Because I heard that Lovett has summer camps for kids.
It's almost the end of the year. But what are you going to do over the summer? Camps! At Lovett, they offer different selections of camps for different students. They offer math camps, study buddies, and much more for middle schoolers. For lower school students, they offer different selections that are more based on fun.
I didn't know there were offerings like that over the summer. Next up, girls soccer with Jet Creamer, right after this commercial break. welcome back. Jet Creamer, take it away with the girls varsity soccer.
This year, the Lovett girls varsity soccer team has done very well with their winning record of 10-8 and a win in the AAA girls soccer playoffs. Coach Lozier and his assistant coaches have rebuilt a great squad, and so far, Coach Lozier's squad is working their hardest to pull it off.
I would say, we have so many players who have been starters in 3 straight state finals. They all have different characteristics that bring a lot to the table.
I think obviously you want to win, and you don't want to lose. However, I think if you have a group of girls who give their all, play with heart, play for each other, go 100% in practice, go 100% in games, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But I think as a coach, you want girls who give it their all.
Every coach has expectations, but these coaches' expectations will lead them to the AAA championship.
It'd be sort of a conduit between coaches and the rest of the team, the younger players in particular. Meetings occasionally to run ideas by them, to let them know what our plans are.
When they have a good attitude about maybe fixing their flaws, it goes a long way, because once you recognize that you have a flaw and you work your way towards fixing it, then you can only get better.
The Lovett girls varsity soccer team has faced rival schools and challenges, but they have not yet succeeded to defeat their big 2 opposing rival schools, Westminster and GAC. Having a great record but not defeating a big challenge is not what the coaches want. The team's next game is a big challenge. If they win, the coaches could meet a great goal of making it to the AAA championship and could be getting a second shot against their championship rival school, GAC.
Our toughest rivals have definitely been GAC. We've gone to the state championship with them like 3 years in a row, and they've just been a huge challenge every single year. It's a really tough game. We're all aggressive, and they're probably our biggest rival.
Besides GAC, I'd say Westminster and Pace, just because Buckhead, we all know each other. It's kind of just like we know each other from club.
It's been very tough to figure out, but we're going to just keep battling, do what we can to try to beat them.
Jet Creamer, reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News.
Do you know some rivalries? The Lovett-Westminster rivalry is a tough competition between all different sports teams. With more information on this intense rivalry in the studio, welcome Fielder Odegaard.
Thanks, Sam. Now to the rivalries.
The rivalry we are about to mention is one of the biggest rivalries in Atlanta. It is the Lovett-Westminster rivalry. These are the 2 biggest schools in Atlanta battling to see who exceeds over the other. The rivalry, many students say, is mainly evolved around sports. The biggest game to them is always football.
Football is really that main sport that everybody goes after with this rivalry. It carries on in other sports as well, just because we both have strong athletic programs.
From a player standpoint, they say it is always more intense before one of these games, and they get more pumped, whether the sport is track or if it is football.
You kind of get a little bit more pumped because you know that you have different friends on the field that you'll be seeing, and you want those bragging rights with your friends.
The coaches try to dismiss the rivalry as much as they can and try to just make it the next game that they have to play.
We try and downplay the rivalry as much as we can from a coaching standpoint. Really, it's just the next game on the schedule.
This rivalry is the biggest one in Atlanta, even though some people think this rivalry is getting smaller due to all the new schools. The Lovett-Westminster rivalry has been going on ever since the schools have been built, because at the time they were the 2 biggest schools in the area and developed a competitive hate. They are also less than a mile away from each other's campuses, and they both want to be the king of this area.
I think the Lovett-Westminster rivalry is getting smaller because of the new schools that are coming up in this area, and because that more talent is going to other schools instead of just Lovett and Westminster like they used to.
Even though the coaches try to downplay the rivalry as much as they can still feel the intensity that surrounds the game.
There's an awful lot of sort of hoopla that surrounds the game from their side and from our side, and it sort of lends itself to being a high-intensity atmosphere before the game, so it's an electric kind of a feel, and it really is an awful lot of fun.
The Lovett-Westminster rivalry is one of the biggest rivalries in Atlanta and continues to do so as they battle in the middle of Buckhead.
Interested in football or soccer? I know I am. What sports can we 6th graders play next year? Madison King reporting with information about the sports that 6th graders can play next year.
Next year, this year's 6th graders will finally be able to play sports. They've been waiting for so long to take part in the athletic program at the Lovett School. The games that they take part in are fun for them and whoever's watching. They're all excited, and for all different reasons.
Well, I'm excited about playing football next year, mainly because there's going to be so many people playing from 6th grade, so it'll just be a lot of fun being with all of them.
I'm excited about playing soccer because I've been playing for a really long time now, and it's really fun to me.
I'm excited about playing volleyball because I have been working for a while on volleyball, and it's fun to play.
There's still some sports that the 6th graders have to wait till 8th grade to play, but to them, the possibilities are still endless.
Well, I'm playing golf currently, and that's all I'm playing, but they don't allow that in 7th grade. It's only 8th grade. So I'm going to be playing football in 7th grade, and if I like it, I'll stick with it. If I don't, I'll just play golf on 2 years.
One big factor of these sports is that some of them have tryouts. The good thing is that some of the kids feel good about it, but the coaches aren't so excited, even though they know it must be done.
For volleyball, I think I will have a good chance because there are not that many people trying out, and most of us are going to get in, and I've done a lot of volleyball, so I have some experience.
I think tryouts every year are a necessary evil in that the worst part of tryouts are having to cut 30 young men who really want to play basketball here for the Lovett School.
Although tryouts may be an issue, the feeling of being able to play sports next year for Lovett could not be higher. Not only are the kids happy and excited.
Well, what really excites me is being able to play on a team and be able to play for Lovett. Because, you can play on your own, but that's not really the same.
I look forward to playing sports next year.
But the coaches also have positive thoughts.
I'm excited about some of the young men who are coming up in the program. Certainly look forward to playing in the league that we play in over at Westminster every Saturday.
Madison King reporting from the Lovett School, OnLion News Network.
Can you believe how close we are to the end of the year? As the end of the year is within our reach, the amount of classes we have left is shrinking, and that means people are getting more and more excited for the 10 exhilarating weeks that we are free from school. And on top of that, 12th graders are getting closer to being Lovett alumni. But as summer crawls closer, so do exams. So everyone should be getting ready for exams because they are from May 18th to the 25th. But as soon as we finish summer exams, the summer begins.
I just can't wait for summer.
Well, I also can't wait for summer, but at least I won't be going to summer school like some individuals sitting right next to me. Anyway, thanks for turning in on this episode of the OnLion News Network, and we hope to see you again. But for now, that's all, folks.